Hello everybody, we're back to our more informal way of doing things now. I'd like to express my gratitude to those people who have been generous enough to give me their feedback. I see this process, as I've said many times, as one of learning for us all, and I hope to be a catalyst for that, and I'm certainly learning more as I'm going on by communicating and listening to people who have been through possibly similar experiences, traumas if you like, and yet refuse to follow a rule that seems to have occurred by default over a number of years, that we should run away from this situation. I totally understand those people who are so trapped that they need to escape, and particularly in relationships where one is being so controlled. I've been in a situation, I think many other people have been in a situation, that you can't really totally escape from the situation, and especially if this is altering your life, nor if you're seeking meaning in what's happening to you at the expense, I say, of a psychopath or a psychopathic mindset. Then for me, it's inappropriate to run away. It's much more appropriate to find meaning from this and to grow from this, and to let everybody know what I'm learning, and therefore to receive feedback from people is very important, because I learn more this way. So many thanks to all those people who have responded, and I'm going to quote from two people in particular who have been very helpful to me. One is Milad Melnick, and I hope I pronounced that right, from America, who's talking about this mindset that turns us into, I suppose, victims, and why we should be catalysts to change that and to help people. And I think it's a movement that's out there. It's virgin territory, but hopefully it is all changing. So here's what Milad says in his great wisdom. I think it's nearly virgin territory. Everyone, even professionals, say to us, run, run, run away. I don't believe in doing that. Besides, it just results in what we have had for thousands. It just results in what we have had for thousands of years. Psychopaths ruling everyone else and inflicting their insanely violent games on us, simply because they are willing to go far further into psychotic madness than any of us are. So they always win at chicken. So why are we trying to play chicken with them in the first place? Although our sages have decried the psychos' games and promoted alternatives for the rest of us, no one has seriously tried to change the game on the psychos yet. Not that I've found anyway. That's what I want to explore. I get all kinds of warnings, predictions of failure and calamity, etc. to this idea. That's how I know I'm onto something worthwhile. Absolutely. Every barrier that comes up tends to prove to me that we're on the right track, and presents new challenges, making this whole thing desperately important, but also interesting, and sometimes challenging and exciting. I'd like to thank WTL, I don't know your full name, for your very learned expression of what is happening to you, and probably to the wider community. What I've learnt from you is an understanding of, let's say, the other side of psychopathy, particularly in corporate structures, the need for the psychopath to have blind followers, and these blind followers also can be termed sycophants, and so I've looked at the meaning of sycophant. We've heard this term very many times before, but I've tried to get to its roots. In Webster's dictionary, a sycophant is simply a person who praises powerful people in order to get their approval. It's almost that, certainly in organisations and big corporations that have psychopaths at the top, they certainly need almost a team of sycophants around them. Yes men, yes women. Just like a gang, a bullying gang, needs their followers. I found this article prompted by WTL. He sent me this article, which I thought was very revealing, from written by Max McCown, who works as a strategic advisor for 4 or 5 of the most admired companies in the world. So he knows from the inside what is happening. This is, to quote Max McCown, or McEwen maybe. Far too many organisations are stuffed with sycophants, prepared to overlook anything shady, illegal or unethical, as long as they are getting to hang around and share some power, even if that means pandering to a corporate psychopath. Further down in the article he says, do you pretend to be a psychopath or a sycophant, mirroring but not believing the behaviour that lets people get promoted? You mirroring this dark energy. Are you not being true to yourself? Because I think, this is me talking here, because if I think that happens, there's inner conflict, and actually that's very bad for your health. Or do you find another way that neutralises the sickness, or simply lets the empathetic amongst us prosper? So all these wise folk are really saying that, no, we need to be proactive in our fight and awareness of psychopathy, both in individuals and the psychopathic mindset in organisations. And to find further meaning, I have, as always, listened to my mentor, and I wish he was my personal friend, but he's my mentor, Leonard Cohen. I love his song Democracy, and even more so I love the way that he has expressed this as a poem. You can find that on YouTube. And what he's saying, and said many years ago, I think he probably wrote this in the 90s, that democracy isn't going to be coming from a movement of light, necessarily, without the challenge from the dark. In fact, it's the darkness that we're seeing around the world, the exposure of the psychopathic mindset, that's leading us, that's helping us into this state of enlightenment and democracy. And it's maybe not going to happen overnight. It certainly is not going to happen overnight, but it is going to happen. And I love some of these phrases. I just quote from the end of his poem here on democracy. Democracy, it's coming from the sorrow in the street, the holy places where the races meet, from the homicidal bitchin' that goes down in every kitchen to determine who will serve and who will eat, from the wells of disappointment where the women kneel to pray, for the grace of God in the desert here and the desert far away. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, O mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on. So everybody, sail on, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.